Dead Island 2, a modern release that breaks the trend of modern releases by actually being a functioning game, not needing major bug fixes, which is very surprising for a game that was delayed for 9 years. Well, it took 9 years to make. That's probably a better way to put it. It's a fun hack and slash. See, look, there's a zombie over there. Yeet. It has many different guns and things. Got many legendary weapons later on. Awesome effects you can put on them. Fire and toxic. Yeah. I'm not killing the zombies. Leave the zombies alone. And electricity. All your stock standard stuff. Nothing too crazy. But that said, I want to go through and show you a bit more on the details. Some of the weapon modification is pretty extensive. In terms of finding weapons that have certain things on them, you can make your own stuff, and it can come with inherent bonuses. So this one has high impact as a bonus. Look at all these things, and you've got. So there's a bit of RPG-ness, a little bit, not as much as the previous game in terms of just the raw mechanic, but at the same time. See, look at these. We have the skill card system, so you have all these optional skill cards you can use. You can use different ones, different slots. They all do different things. There's a huge amount of detail here, so I don't want to overwhelm you too much, but I feel like it's important to show that there is a complex, high-level version of play. You're still killing zombies, but that's the whole point of the game. The game is a fun hack and slash, but it does offer a lot more. So it has the autophage system, which I'm not going to go into depth about, but it's sort of a risk versus reward, where you get a whole bunch of bonuses, but you get some negatives. And it's, at the minute, I don't regenerate health naturally, and all the healing items don't do much for me. But I get so much health back just by killing zombies. So it's with the character I'm playing, Amy. So there is a balance of the game that works really well when you embrace the system as it presents to you. But if you just go, nah, I don't want to do that, that's fine too. You can it's more than fine with just... What are you doing behind there? Snippety sniping. You get plenty of ammo. You can buy ammo from vendors, traders, so it's not a big deal with the ammo, to be perfectly honest. Put elemental effects on bullets, blow stuff up. You have numerous bases and there's numerous regions to visit, so let's go. Yep, so we have all these different zones. Now they're all different sizes, but most of them are big. I'd say big. And they got all these different missions, side quests, hunting for missing people, trying to find them. So you follow like clues, and you actually have to read and follow the clues. And then we got a whole bunch of side missions, which some of the side missions are quite a bit quite emotional at the end. Some of them are a bit, yeah. I really enjoyed the game. So it's like, do I recommend the game to you? This is kind of where there's a little bit of nuance. Let me just yeet that. I think if you enjoy the simple things, the killing of zombies, then you'll enjoy the game. I don't think there's any question of that. It does start slow in terms of your weaponry. So I have to say towards the middle part of the game, you start to get guns, and then you start to, or not even the middle, sort of below that, you start to get good guns, and then good mods for them, and then you start to get really good weapons. There's the optional you have a choice of what curveball you want to use. So this is your secondary, like a grenade type situation. And you can use all sorts of different ones. They have different effects. I don't have that one. I should go get that. But you have a lot of variety in terms of what weapons you can use, what style of weapon. Each one of them has a different class. So some of them are aiming, some are sharpshooting, demolition, bulldozer, tactical, and rapid fire. So we have different weapons, different classes. And what matters here is that whilst some of the missions can be similar, repetitive you'd say, you go through the whole game and you go through your challenges. So each Slayer has Slayer-specific challenges and they have account-wide challenges. So there is account-wide benefits you can get while playing the game. So as you play through, say, you do your challenges, you do combat challenges, you get bonuses. You actually get increases to damage. And you actually get permanent buffs. So it's one of these things that as you do these ones, you get more peak health. Exploration, you get more peak health. Pretty basic for some of these, but you get more peak health. The weapon challenges give you weapon damage. And I've got to do this one. And you get more damage for your curveball, which is your grenades. You can get more rifle damage using the rifle gun. So whatever weapon you use, you get an actual benefit from using it to kill a certain number of zombies. And you actually get positive to damage numbers. So on your, and this is account wide. So on your other characters that you start, you'll have instantly an edge. You'll do more damage. And this is for all the weapon types. And this allows you to really, I think, feel the benefits in your second character. When you do, if you want to do that, of course. And on your main character. So you're getting increased damage from all these as well, from killing certain kinds of zombies. And you get health recovery here, so explosion resilience. So there's a lot of defensive things as well as just straight damage. So when you go to your Slayer, you can look at their stats and you see I've got big bonuses to critical damage, stamina, toughness. Now I've got reductions to agility and resilience from my autophage. So it's kind of that trade-off. And also have reduced resistances as well from one of my skill cards. But skill cards, your weapons also provide you toughness and things in that. So there's a huge amount in the game for you if you want to. There's depth there if you want it. Otherwise, you just play through, you choose whatever abilities you like. I've got ground pound on, but I don't even use it. So you can just go. You can jump, drop kick, all the good stuff. And you've got even more skills. So, you can do dash strike, war cry. You can do flying kick, to do drop kick. You can block or dodge. So it gives you the option. Rather than having both, you got to block. And then for the dodge, it just moves across. And there's a whole bunch of cards that feed into that. So the cards flow into each other. And you get a synergy, I suppose is the way I put it. So one of the things, some of the stuff I have here is all about, well, I think this is the best one really. I've got a second life here, so if instead of dying, I actually get additional chance to survive. This is one of the best cards in the game, so I just want to show you. So zombies slain with fire, shock, or caustic damage will detonate in a powerful explosion. So let me show you what that looks like, because, oh, actually, this will probably do better. So I do want to run around and show you a little bit, but at the same time I don't want to go too crazy. So you see that explosion? So we get an explosion. You want me to just run around? Okay. So, in terms of what's different from this game to the first, a huge amount is different. I'll be perfectly honest. It's a massively different game. In terms of the skills, the cards, the challenges, having bonuses is a big thing. So sort of the meta progression in terms of your account-wide progression, which I think is really good. I really like that. So it offers, oh, see, we also have elemental things. So if you have a fire on your weapon, it won't do any damage against a fire enemy. Pretty basic stuff, but there is this elemental, not so much positive at times. You can drench enemies in water and then use your lightning to electrocute them. That was a little boss enemy. I just killed it in 2 hits because I'm beast. And you have a heavy attack and a normal attack, so you don't lose stamina when you just do your normal swing, which is a big change. And also you don't lose stamina when you sprint. You only lose it when you do an ability, like your ability cards. And then you have Fury mode, which you can have special abilities. A couple abilities. Again, character specific stuff. And a lot of my build goes around Fury. So, I didn't really like Fury in the original games, but in this I feel it's done because of the card system, you can use it in a lot more varied ways. So you can, and the way it operates changes as well. So this is a lightning enemy, so there's no point using... Oh gosh. And you do get knocked down, it is first person, so you do have situations where you feel a little bit overwhelmed at times. Zombies will be hiding around corners, behind doors, and you will get jump scared. What are you doing down there? What's a good weapon? Here we go. Alright, so we just did a challenge there where I got my Zombidia up. So I killed enough. As you kill enemies, you get more information about them. And I just get a big damage bonus, so that's really good. So when you go through your collectibles, you go to Zompedia. So you have a database of all the zombies you kill, and it tells you their weaknesses as you kill more of them. So you kill a certain amount of them, it'll tell you that you can use the water and chem bomb on the fire ones to extinguish them. And then the legs are weak to all damage and easy to maim. So it gives you these sort of tips and tricks just to kill them a lot quicker. So you have spiky ones that have metal on them, you can't kick them or punch them with your fist, you damage yourself. Weak to explosives, kicking or sliding so much will make you bleed, no touch, maim. Then you just shoot them in the legs and stuff. So it's really interesting, you get to see all the different variety. I don't want to spoil them all here, but it's really nice that everything in the game is designed around incentivizing killing zombies. So and doing it in different ways. So if you do it with different weapons, you get bonuses to those weapons. Keep using your shotgun, you do more damage with your shotgun, and it's logical. Now, some of the zombie challenges here give you, these are the more the defensive stuff. So health recovery and health, and resilience and resistances, and it's just you have to kill certain types. Again, obviously, you kill the fire ones, you kill the lightning ones, and you get resistance to fire and lightning. It's pretty simple. There's a huge amount of journals, a huge amount of lore in the game, so there's a lot of depth in terms of the lore, and I kind of want to talk about this just a little bit because I feel like lots of reviews won't really go into detail, but there's some really touching lore that actually is emotional and context sensitive that I don't want to go too far there, but it's really good. I think it's really good, but at the same time I do prefer the audio ones to the text ones. So I do feel like with chat GTP stuff, you should be able to have all of them be audio, but I can understand why you wouldn't do that. Okay, let's jump down. There is fall damage, so be wary. And you can shoot their legs off. The gore is extensive, so it is one of the features they like to talk about a lot. Electrician's keys, eh? Is how much, your attacks, how visceral the combat is, which is a feature of the game. Oh. Okay, got that. And, you know, it's a horror game, so it has its scary moments. Okay, I can travel through there to Bel Air. What's that? Out of the way, steel pipe. Okay, there it is. And I can travel to the sewers. So there's an interconnected world that's instance. So we have small, some of them big, sections, and they all interconnect in various ways. It feels more linear as you go through, but then later on it sort of interweaves a bit better. The guns can make the game a bit trivial, but it really depends. Because, again, I've got a crit damage build. Amy, each character is different, so let me just... Alright, let me get back to base. There's no fast travel, so this is one of the things that maybe people may not like, is that you can't just skip straight back to the base. You have to run there. And there are zombie parts to pick up, but I've got so much I'm not even worried about that. I mean, I've got pretty much full everything. Ah! You can run through and run away from zombies. You don't have to fight them all the time if you don't want to, or if you just, you know, on your way to an objective. I do tend to target the legs. As per the Walking Dead guidebook, in terms of, you know, take out the legs and then you smash them when they're on the ground, which it works well. So it's one of the things I did like about the original, is that you can just chop the leg off and then smash them on the head. What are you doing over there? So yeah, the sections, for the most part, are big. I think they're big. But they're interesting. Like, you have the... Oh, let's just leave it. Actually, leave it there, leave it there, leave it there. They're interesting. And I like the... I like it. I like the game very much. I don't want to spoil too much of it. I feel like where I am is a fine spot to not be too spoilery, but it is what it is. I think it's a really good game for those who, you know, want to kill zombies and want to feel rewarded for killing zombies. And then the variety is really you. So this is the same for a lot of games, particularly open world games. But the variety isn't so much the quest design at times, but there is, you know, different quests and different things going on in the world. But the variety is much more in how you approach them. So this is for all open world games. You're the thing. You're the variety. And if you feel like you just want to use the same weapon the entire game, and then you finish the game, and you think that the game had no variety because you were using the same weapon the entire time, then that's you. That's up to you entirely. And that's fine. You can play how you like. I like to, you know, do the challenges and get all the different bonuses and look at them all the time and go, oh, what have I got left? And I go, oh, here, I've only got these ones left, but I've got to find the mutators and kill them before they mutate. God, it's a pain in the ass. But at the same time, I'll probably have to look up a guide. You know, there's a bit of that. Looking up, oh, where is the best place to find them? You can check on the map. On the map, it tells you where things spawn. Is there any really hotspots there? So it tells you here that there'll be crushers there. So there'll be big boys. So it does give you an indication of where enemies spawn, which is really helpful. and Screamer's there. And it tells you other things like lockboxes, workbenches, and you know, where to generally explore and where your keys will connect to. So one of the other things, I suppose the part that's probably the most repetitive, but at the same time, you have a lot of keys and passwords and things. So this is not all the keys. So you do go through the game collecting. You find keys most of the time. That's not, you know, too ostentatious, to be perfectly honest. But you find keys. You open lockboxes. But you don't have to worry about. Don't go out of your way to do them so much. Lots of times when you repeat, once you've finished through the main quests, when you go back to an area that you've done the main quest in, there'll be zombies that spawn, generally boss type ones. So the big boys, Screamers and that, and then they'll be in specific locations near a lockbox, and they'll drop a key for it. So it's not too crazy. Some of them are in different regions, and you come back, and there's a bit of that's where the interconnected world really shines in terms of the side missions, in terms of the lost and found stuff, and finding the ultimate weapons. So some of them give you, you know, amazing legendary weapons, so you can get more good stuff. You have a storage. I do want to show you. You have your workbench, so you can upgrade a weapon. You can put different mods on it. I haven't got every mod, but pretty close. And you get special super duper mods. See, look, I'm spoiling it. I'm joking. And you can scrap things. I've got full resources, so I'm not actually getting anything from it, but you know, maybe you would. And you can also make ammo for your guns, which is great, and medkits and stuff like that. I've got some more legendary things here. I don't want to go too close. But your storage is shared across your characters, so you can put guns that are low level for your other characters. So when they get to the level they need to, they can use a gun. So let me just check. I want to check what mods can I put up. Does it change that? So we can go. Okay, so it is limited. I think mutilator's better. Honed. Pretty kids doing damage. I think just. So it does limit it to the level. So it's well designed. So I want to do damage and force and reduce magazine size because that's actually really good. The weapon stats. Let's talk about those for a bit. You have a power. So since 233 is the power. And of course, my other weapons are much higher. They're 500 and 600 and stuff. Appropriate to the level. But at the same time, damage in the bottom right below the 2171 ammo is 392. So you have situations in which some weapons will do more damage despite having a lower power. So the power doesn't necessarily correlate, but it can. So one of the things you can do is match level, and then that'll increase the power, and it'll increase the damage as well. Just because it's increasing the level. So it's getting you to level parity. So all these weapons I have are level 30, which is the max level. So you know that. But the damage is pretty good. But like that one's 1182. But it's quicker. And so this is 1393, but I'm using electric effect and I'm stunning everything and then exploding with electricity. And this one's 1827 and does fire. So it does big damage as well. But the mods, you can do trade-offs. Some of them just do straight increased damage. You have, you know, limb damage durability. You can have positives and negatives as well. So you can have like it swings faster. But there is just, you know, there's a lot on offer in terms of that. But so it does reward exploration. Oh, I just dropped all my shit. Let's chuck that back in there. It does reward exploration. And let me sell that. And you can make a huge amount of money just by selling weapons. So if you need to make money in the game, you sell weapons you pick up. Big money. Simple. Oh, you got a whole bunch of stuff here. You can always buy ammo from traders, and I do recommend some other stuff, but let's not worry about that. All right. These are all missing people, and there are actually quests you could try and find them. So a lot of the quests I've been doing lately have just been finding these people, if they're still alive. The story itself, I think it needs to be taken in the context of this game will have 2 expansions. So there's 2 expansions slated, and they're story expansions. And whether they add like an arena, like the original game had an arena, and whether they add that, we'll see. But at the same time, when you look at the world, I feel like there's some obvious things you can do, areas you can add, connected parts of the world that you can add another, because they've done it in such a way. So this is kind of where I feel like, because they've done it with these instanced areas, these little smaller open world sections, you can add more easier in terms of the expansion content. So I feel like if you get to the end, just bear in mind there's expansions. But at the same time, I feel like the story does have a lot, and that there's moments that matter, and there is development, and your character changes. And I feel like the character I played as Amy was very cringe at the start, and then she got better, and then I sort of warmed to her. So, and then with some emotional moments later on. But the way the game is designed here, they can add more, I think, easier, and that's kind of where the strength of the game will be in future, when they've added the expansion content, other areas. I think it'll appear even better, and it'll be post end game. So one of the things that the previous game did was you could get to level 30 plus, you could get to whatever level you like, and you could push through to New Game Plus, and you go through again and again and again until you're whatever level you want to be. But this, they cap you at 30 because there's expansions, and they don't want you to over level, I suppose, for the expansions, which I think is perfectly fine. And one of the things that's good is that the zombies, they're level 29, so I always feel strong against them. I don't feel weak. So there's not like they're outscaling me or anything like that. And as you progress through, you do have to be wary to do your main missions and your side missions, because otherwise you'll be out leveled at times. So if you rush through the game, you're going to struggle. So the zombies will have on their head, if they're at your level or below, they'll have the black around the number for the 29. But if they're above your level, they'll have a red. Oh, can you just stand still? You're not. Okay, you're closer. They'll have a red around the number for 29. It'll be bright red, and that means that they're a level above you, whatever level it says in that. And they'll be harder to kill, and then if they have a skull, they'll instant one-shot you. So sometimes enemies are positioned in a way that they don't want you to go that area yet. So they'll put skulled enemies there just to prevent you going that place too early, because a main quest will take you there later. So they are used as a tool in that way, and sometimes they're sprinkled in just to keep you on your toes. You can still kill them. I'm not saying you can't. It's just that if they hit you, you die instantly, and it can feel a bit annoying. So just be wary that as you progress through the side quests, because there's not that many early on, they're more mandatory in my mind, and it just helps with the progression of the game. That said, you still want to kill lots of zombies, because that'll help you with the progression the most. Because it's one of those things that they only give you, 20 XP. It doesn't even show up because I'm at max level so far. But it accumulates. It's one of those things with the zombies, is that you just kill a whole bunch of them. Eventually you will level up just from killing zombies. It'll just happen a bit more naturally. So do side quests, you get heaps of XP, big XP. Main quest, massive XP. Progress through the game. One of the things I was worried about was once I finished the game, whether or not I'd want to go back and do side missions. And thankfully, I felt fine with it. So lots of games I finish the story, you finish your main quest, even if it is somewhat open world, and you kind of go, But this one, I'm happy to go back, get more weapons, level up to max level, and get some awesome stuff, upgrade all my weapons, get a huge amount of money, and just slaughter all these zombies. So yeah, I hope the co-op is another thing I'll talk about, because we're at, oh god, I've been talking for ages. The co-op is very interesting. So it enables you to skip through sections of the game. So it's very interesting. You can progress much quicker. I'd say if you're doing a speed run of the game, co-op would be the way to go, because you could just rush to the boss there, that quest there, that quest there, that area there, that area there. It teleports you through the areas, so you don't even have to have been to the area yet. You just have to be the right level, and it will level up you very quickly as you jump into other people's games. Because you'll be a little bit lower. If you're smart, you know what you're doing, you don't get killed as much. And either way, you'll be able to progress very, very quickly through co-op. And co-op is good fun. That's with 3 people maximum. And you just jump in, depending on your level. So I do think when you start off a character, I do recommend you push through to the hotel to get to the hotel. Once you're at the hotel, I think you can co-op join people pretty easy from there. But in the starter zone, it is slightly harder to co-op as soon as the co-op starts, unless you just get lucky. Because people are generally further on, and your level is too low to just match into theirs and join them further on. So again, doing side quests in the starter zone and then maybe trying to match will work. And then, of course, matching in endgame is much easier because, you know, everyone's completed the main quests, and then you can just jump in. They've got side quests to do, they want to do them, you can help them out, or they're hunting for particular things, particular zombies to do their challenges, and you can help them out. So there's lots to do, lots of different areas, lots of lockboxes to open with keys, lots of collectibles, journal stuff to read that are actually worth reading. A lot of it's worth reading. And lots of challenges to do. So if you don't find the meta progression, the account-wide progression, that's similar to a Borderlands style, although they had the badass ranks and it wasn't as powerful as I think some of these are, and you don't want to have multiple characters, I feel like you'll be slightly less enthused. So it's one of those ones where the difference between the Slayers... Let's go to the main menu. I'll just jump down. It auto-saves all the time. You don't have to worry about losing progression. It auto-saves a huge amount. There's no manual save type situation, so you don't have to feel like you're, you know, missing out here and there. But the Slayers, I haven't got all of them yet, because I've started a whole bunch and just really progressed, like aiming to maximum. They all offer different things. So there's 3 different groups. So you have your Bruiser, which is Carla and Ryan. So they're sort of the tank. And they have Block early, which is... Block is such an incredible skill. So much better than Dodge. And then you have your damage dealers, Danny and Jacob. So they're really powerful when surrounded by multiple zombies. And then you have your agility... critical damage in Bruno and Amy. So they're a bit weaker though in terms of peak health. So you have basically your all round, your tank, and then Ryan, and then you've got your, you know, your lightweight, but you know, your glass cannons. But everyone gets really strong at the end once you do all your challenges, you get your peak health up. But they are different, they have different dialogue. So it really is up to you. You can try out you know, I just gonna have one of each of them, really. In the end of the day. And you can quick join when you go join game. You can quick join from here. You can go to your friends. We've got the extras, we've got the challenges and all that. We've got the stats. And I love that it, you know, keeps all of your stats and it keeps all of your quest stuff, and yeah, it's really nice. I like a lot of this. There's a lot of quality of life stuff in terms of the way it's designed. I think that's really nice. And again, it sort of owes back to older games, but that's, I think, okay. You have your tutorial, so you can have explanations about the basics. So there's a lot of information here again. You can check it. A lot of the basic stuff's really important. So so the traits is really important to know. So I just want to leave it there for a second, because they actually have, you know, such a big impact. So health recovery, agility, you know, actually does change your movement speed. So it's, yeah, really, I think well put together. All this, it is a well put together game. I do feel as though the game will be better with the expansions. So I want to sort of have that caveat in the back of your mind. If you're considering buying the game, If you love the first 2 games, Dead Island, Riptide, then I think you'll really, really enjoy this. It is different. It is more modern. There is much better movement, much better skills in terms of interacting with the enemies. The originals are much more basic, although you do have the throwing skill stuff and the gunplay and the sort of the aura system in terms of the co-op synergy. But there's co-op synergies in this as well with skill cards. But ultimately, there's a lot more depth in Dead Island 2. And there's a lot of modern humor that I didn't quite catch because I'm not young. So a lot of Zoomer humor. So there's a different appeal here and there. But I think it's a great game. But it is ultimately niche because zombie killing, it's not for everyone. People think you kill 5 zombies, you've just killed up you've done the same thing 5 times in a row. Well, whatever. You can think how you think. There's a lot of variation in the enemy types, but whatever. So if you're prejudiced against the game, you're prejudiced against the game. I'm not going to change your mind. And I already talked for 30 minutes, so you would have gone by now. But if you're open-minded and you think the game would be good, I've shown you the gameplay, talked about the game. Make up your own mind, but I do think it's a good game. Would I rate it? Well, I think with a lot of the extra stuff, the challenges system, I feel like there's a tremendous amount here that it actually really, really does help your experience in the game. So I think an 8 out of 10 for me. I think that's where I put it because it's complete. It's actually a well-made game that's put together. And it's kind of odd that it's like you have to leave Dead Island 2 to actually release an actual finished game at launch. So I played so much of it. I've got a whole playthrough on my channel, Frosty510, like, subscribe, with Amy. But I do think some of the other characters are much, like particularly, Jacob, Danny, and Carla. These 3 are much easier to play through in terms of your survivability as a first character, because again, once I've done all the challenges, all the others get more health and more damage. It becomes much easier. You can play through much quicker on your second and third and fourth characters just because of the nature of the game, and I think that's good. So it does give you that sort of push of, you can do that now. And there are Slayer specific challenges as well. So, but that's fine. Yeah. So dialogue I think is well done for the most part. Some of the characters' lines are here and there are a bit odd, but it's very few and far between. The rest are consistently good quality. Yeah, and you're the variation. The way you approach things is the variation. Although there is still variation in the quests and the enemies and things like that, it still does come back to you and the way you play the game matters most. So yeah, I think that'll do. It's been Frosty510. Any questions about the game? You're still not sure? You can always wait for discounts and things like that. I think, this game on sale is an absolute steal. But yeah. Yeah, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think. And I'll catch you on another video. See ya.